Welcome back to Drifting Drams. I'm Katie Turk.
And I'm Ethan. And today we are talking a little bit about our recent trip. So we started off, of course, at home here in Tennessee. We went to Kentucky. We did Bourbon on the Banks. After that, we went kind of up the eastern seaboard. All total, the trip was right around 5,000 miles. We were gone for almost a month. It was a heck of a trip. We had a great time, met a great bunch of people, and just really enjoyed what we did.
So we're going to talk about some of the bottles that we found along the way. One of the first bottles that we got was actually from Bourbon on the Banks. It's a festival in Frankfort, Kentucky. We went last year, loved it, had to buy tickets early this year, got them. Something new that they're doing is they're actually able to sell bottles. So you can bring bottles home that you enjoy, just like this one. It is Barrel Vantage. Barrel was there. We got to try this one, and man, it is a great bottle.
Okay, so next we're going to another bottle that we got from Bourbon on the Banks. This bottle is put out by Bourbon 30. They also have the name brand Jane Mattingly. That's what this is through. It's a great blended bourbon. They're mainly blending MGP bourbons, but they don't quite say what's in them. This specific bottle is even cooler because a good portion of the proceeds were donated to specific charities supporting veterans.
From there, I guess we'll talk about this bottle. It is Devil's River. I know it's hard to see. It is a single barrel pick from Whiskey Mentors. You might also know that name. Her name is Irene Tan. She owns a store in Canterbury, Connecticut. We got to meet Bourbon and Bonnie, Jim Morris, and Brian Kilco, Whiskey Musings up there, and really share some pours. And man, this bottle, it's a 2-year-old Texas whiskey. Nickname is Caramel Fudge. It is dessert in a glass.
Yeah, so this is another bottle from Irene Tan. So this one is rye finished in Armagnac. And so if you've ever had a Starlight rye, you kind of know what to expect from the base product. But of course, with Starlight, their finishes are always the best thing. And this Armagnac finish does not leave anything to chance. It has that awesome Armagnac base. It's earthy, it's grapey, it's spicy, great pour. And again, another pick by Irene Tan, so it's guaranteed to be good.
We met with Jeff and Dana Wack. Jeff has Hello Again Whiskey Friends with Kelsey Dime and Darrell Stewart. They're on Wednesdays. But we got to crack this bottle with them. It was a find that we got at Liquor Barn. It's from Middle West Spirits out of Ohio. It is a double cask collection. It's a wheated whiskey that's then finished in sherry, Olorosa sherry, and at cask strength. So it packs a punch, but it is really good, and it was even better because we got to share it with friends.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so this next one is one that we picked up from a store in Norfolk, and Jim from Pinch Hitter Whiskey Lounge turned us onto it. This is a rum finished in cognac. It's at cask strength, so 111 proof, and I'm super stoked. I love rums, especially good rums. I've had some really good stuff from Privateer, and for a rum to be finished in cognac, I think this is just going to be amazing.
He's a sucker for cognac. One of the next bottles, although it was arguably one of our last bottles of the trip, it is Buzzard's Roost Cigar Rye. We got to share this pour with Darrell Stewart when we were in Rhode Island, and it is very unique, very different, but man, it is good.
All right, so next one for me is another bottle from the same store that Jim turned us on to. So if you're not familiar, Port Charlotte is a Scotch. It's normally a 10-year age-stated Scotch for their base lineup anyway, coming off of Islay. So it is peated. However, it doesn't have like an Ardbeg note or a Laphroaig note. There's no Band-Aids or barbecue here. It's just smoke. Now this specifically is their exploratory cask from either this year or the previous year. I'm not exactly sure yet, but it's finished in Sauternes. And so they take that amazing base whiskey and then they finish it in Sauternes. We have the OLC 01 from a couple of years back. That one is finished in a couple of different types of sherry, and it's awesome. And so this one I expect will be the same.
Next bottle is Yellowstone LE from 2022. We actually have not seen any of the prior releases. We were staying in Westport, Massachusetts, right on the beach, and we went to a grocery store, and they happened to have a liquor store, so we checked it out. And they had this, so we picked it up for sure.
Yep. And so this bottle is, this is definitely one we picked up on the trip, but it's also kind of symbolic because we love Sagamore so much. So specifically, this is the new Sagamore Sherry finish. It is bottled at 106 proof, and it is an amazing whiskey. When we got there, Brian Tracy was, he let us do a tour. He basically rolled the red carpet. We got to spend multiple hours with him just talking about nerdy details about distilling and the business. He shared some amazing pours that we'll never see again in our lives. And then at the end of the day, we also got to spend about 3 hours drinking and talking with their CFO as well. And that was a great time too. Super knowledgeable people and just salt of the earth people there at Sagamore.
The person that set up that tour gets a special thanks. Dusty Dan Trout, met us there and arranged for us to do that. We got to hang out with him before and after, share some good food, share good stories, but probably most notably share some amazing whiskey with him. He is the king of dusty bottles, and he did not disappoint. We got to try a Chessman and some older ryes. One, I think, was 1909.
Yeah.
So 120 years, like, come on.
Yeah, and so that's the haul, right? There were a few other bottles here and there, but those are the highlights. We chose the highlights specifically because they all had tie-ins with people and experiences. And so that's really what we enjoyed doing. Yeah, we're glad that you sat with us. We're glad we were able to share another exploration with you up the East Coast, around speaking and meeting with people from this community, people outside of this community. It was a blast.
And those experiences were unforgettable. Some of the best nights of our lives, staying up until 3 a.m., talking and drinking and just hanging out, losing track of time. What more could you ask for?
Yeah, and so the last thing that we hope you take from this, we hope that this inspires you just a little bit to have an experience of your own, whether that's sharing a pour with a neighbor or a family member, or going on a 5,000-mile trip and seeing a bunch of things and a bunch of people in the community, right? Do it however it works for you, but definitely take that from it.
Of the bottles that we showed today, if you want to see us do a specific review, comment below, and we're happy to take those into consideration, and then you probably will see it in the future. But yeah, cheers.
Absolutely. Yeah. So thanks everybody for joining us. Cheers.